I'm Georgia Shakti-Hill, and I want to welcome you to Living in Balance. In our cultural series, we have talked to many people from many different walks of life, and today we will meet a man who walks the medicine path. He is Irish and he is Cherokee, and he is a storyteller, and you will enjoy this adventure today with Soaring Eagle. Come join us. For years, there is a man who has come into Southwest Florida, and when he does, he always shares with us. But this is the first time you as the audience are going to get to meet Soaring Eagle. As I said, he is a storyteller. He is a man who walks the medicine path. He is Irish and he is Cherokee, and we are very pleased to have him with us today. So welcome.
Thanks, Georgia. I'm glad to be back. But you know, as usual, I have to give thanks to the rest of the people that live in the state of Florida, especially the Native American people, and Miccosukee and the Seminole. And I just want to let them know that I'm honored to be here, and they let me do what I do here, so because it's their land. So I like to pay tribute to them.
Yes,
for it, you know.
And that's a tradition that you have done every program that we have shared together, because it's honoring the people, because you are in their territory.
That's true.
And in the Native American, we still have all those territories of all the different tribes.
That's right.
Yes.
So it's very important because in this day and time especially, there's so much road rage and this and that and the other, that it's really nice to for people to show honor and give thanks to other people for being able to be in their area, you know.
Well, you are a traditional man because you have been trained, and as I said, you walk the medicine path, and your heritage is that your grandfather, who was Cherokee, taught you the old ways.
That's true. I try to carry on. It's my responsibility to carry on the culture and the medicines also that he taught me about, and the trees and the plants and the things we use for medicine. So I try very hard to keep up with that and carry it on and teach it to others also, so that it doesn't die. You know?
Yes, and later in the show we're going to meet your female apprentice.
Right.
Yes, you have someone who is in training. And
I'm really proud.
Yes, so in our second segment we'll meet Patty.
Yes, that'll be great.
And you and your wife travel, and part of this journey that you're on takes you to powwows.
Right.
And those are celebrations.
Right.
And they're social.
Right.
But they're always sacred moments.
This is true. A lot of people don't know that the songs that are sang and the dances are danced, for the most part, a good 80 to 90% of them are a form of prayer, giving thanks to the Creator or God or Grandfather for the earth, for Mother Earth and the plants and the trees, and for safe journey, and for the food that they eat, and just many different things. So it's for a lot of the people, it's a traditional time too, and a gathering of the people.
Yes.
Renewal of old friends, and making new friends and so forth, and sharing the food, and it's really a nice time. Not only that, it gives us a chance to make all of our things, our rattles and our war clubs and our fans and different things, and share with other people about some of the things that we make.
Well, you have brought some of the beautiful gifts, and it's you and your wife who travel together, and these are some of the things that you make. And this one is, you just told me about what this is about and the parts to it. Tell us about this. What is it? What do I have in front of me here?
This is a deer antler that we've used for the handle. This happens to be a piece of wolf here. And these are turkey feathers. For the most part, the turkey was a sacred bird for our people because it was always there for food. So not just eagle feathers and hawk and so forth are sacred. So is the turkey feathers for the Cherokee people. So I try to use the proper materials in the things also, as long as they're legal, you know, for people to use.
Right.
But that we use these, I make these single ones for people to smudge with, because we use the sage and the sage bowl for purification, and we burn it, and it's to fan the smoke onto the people or items and get rid of negativity.
And the smudging is very important because that is a sacred ritual.
Yes, it
and
is.
It's very effective as far as you said, removing the negativities. In fact, I just had a friend who said that she was so pleased. The man with whom she is involved had a restaurant, and they said that the restaurants before had not done well. And so because he was open to it, they came in and they did a smudging ceremony before the restaurant opened, and he has done very well.
Well, I believe that because we do it with our things. Once we put our things out, we smudge. If somebody walks by that I have a feeling that I feel that they're a negative person, I do it again, because people don't realize that we carry an energy that can go from you to me. It can get off a person that's negative and get on your things, and other people that feel those energies will walk around your place where you have your things. So it's necessary to cleanse it.
Well, you know, it's an interesting thing, because the Native Americans, like, that's what I love about all the cultures. The aura is how it is described in English, and your Shakti, which is my name, is like the vibration that you give off. So with the Native American, they're just very much aware of it, and some people are just more in tune.
Right. Well, you know, that's what many of us are trained to do, is try very hard to raise people's awareness about things around them. I know even in the military that some of the men chose to follow me, and I was in special forces and around the world 9 times in 9 years, and we smell and taste and hear and feel a lot of things that other people don't. You know, not because they can't, but because they don't practice it. Because the Creator or God made us all so we can do these things.
And you know, I've said before too, one of the best parts of the powwow, which I really do appreciate, is how they always honor the warriors, which our warriors today are people from the military who have served. And it's really a nice tradition, and a lot of the Native Americans have served. Right.
Well, it's very important for veterans that are Native American, because you know, when we have a powwow, we have what's called a grand entry, and when the drums are playing and they have honor songs for veterans and so forth, the veterans themselves, the Native American veterans, carry the colors in, and it's very important. They go before everybody, and then the head man dancer and head woman dancer, and then elders and so forth and so on. But all the veterans go first, and they carry the flags and the colors and post them, and it's very important. And in fact, we have a song that's equal to our flag song. That's very important for us to do. So we do the flag song, and then when we leave the circle, we do the honoring song, and all the veterans and anybody else that's don't even have regalia on that's a veteran can follow them out and get in and dance with them. So it's honoring the warriors and the veterans of all people, whether they're Native American or not. So it's very important to us at the powwows.
One of the beautiful gifts that you've made here too, this is a warrior's the hammer. What is that? The stone?
The war club.
The war club, that's it.
You can call it a hammer if you want to. This stone comes from the creek that runs through the reservation up in Cherokee, North Carolina. And by the way, don't go picking up those stones in there unless you do have a card and you're Native American, because they'll come and get you for it. But and the handle is wood, and it's split, soaked in water, and then wrapped while you can bend it around the stone. But there's no glue in it, and it's very sturdy. And then we wrap the hand with leather. And it's funny, I had a talking stick, and I was explaining to a lady how this worked, and she had just got off the plane from England to Miccosukee Village. And she said, well, my husband would get that, and I would never get it back. And I said, that's the reason you need a war club, so you can get your talking stick back.
And I love the tradition of the talking stick, and we've adapted that in my life because it seems to work, and that's where everybody takes a turn.
Right.
And you pass as the walking stick goes around, the talking stick goes around.
That I sold all my talking sticks, and this is actually a pipe, but you know, anything that can be used as a talking stick, because our people, they use the talking stick whenever they gathered together to make decisions, and they could make decisions because they wasn't interrupted. Because if you interrupted and spoke out of turn and didn't have the talking stick, a couple of large warriors would come and lead you out very quietly. And you weren't allowed to come back and be a part of the decision making until the elders felt like that you had learned patience.
Yes.
So it's very important. Nobody speaks unless they're holding the talking stick, and you say what you got to say and pass it on to the next person.
Well, you know, one of the things I wanted to do is, because you do a lot of healing work, there are 2 recipes that I have taken. I took an herb class that was given by one of our herbalists in Southwest Florida, but 3 sheets of the materials were Soaring Eagle's recipes. So we have 2 recipes from you that we're going to share with the people.
Good.
One of them is your health tonic, and this is just an overall good for everybody, but you said especially good for high blood pressure and for people who are not feeling well. It's just good cleansing, and that's
Well,
one with apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, that's for arthritis too.
Arthritis,
and,
okay.
And blood pressure. I didn't realize it done so good with the blood pressure until I give a lady the recipe, and she took it, and her husband started taking it, and come to find out he had high blood pressure, and when he went in, his blood pressure was all the way down. He didn't even have to take his medication anymore. But it's a gallon of water and a cup of apple cider vinegar. You have to be sure it's apple cider vinegar.
The raw,
because
yeah,
you
the
don't,
good stuff, yeah.
Lots of times you just get the colored stuff in the store, you know, if they put coloring in. But a cup of apple cider vinegar, a cup of honey, and a couple of lemons, or just a lemon. Just roll it and cut it and squeeze it in and put whole and all in there and put it in the refrigerator. Drink 8 ounces a day.
Yeah.
And, you know, it
It sounds like, and it's good too.
well, you know, it gets your electrolytes up and gets you going too. So it's a good all-around drink, and it's something you have to acquire a taste for because it does taste different. But
But I
it's
like
very
lemon,
good.
I like honey, I like all of the ingredients.
It's high
That
in
works.
potassium.
Now, one of the other things too is one of your recipes that's easy, and I like it, and it's kind of old-fashioned, but it's the cough syrup.
Yes.
It's simple.
Yeah, it's real simple. But you use the lemons. You can use any number of lemons you want, but I usually use 2 lemons, and I slice them very thin and put them in about 2 cups of water, and this can vary too. And you just kind of simmer that until it kind of evaporates to about half the liquid, and then you mash up the lemons and strain it out. And whatever liquid you have there, then you put an equal amount of honey with it, and it's very good. And if you want to really put a little bite to it, you can put some ground cayenne pepper in it, and it's very healing.
Yes,
That is, but a lot
that
of
is,
people
isn't
can't
it?
stand the heat.
Yeah, but that does add a
oh yes, and
really healing
not only
element.
that, the cayenne pepper is very high in vitamin C also.
Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we have lots more to talk about, a couple of my favorite books that give us a little background information on the Cherokee, and we will meet Patty.
Good.
So if you will stay tuned, we will be right back with Soaring Eagle. If you're just joining us, we're talking to a man who walks the medicine path. He is a healer in the tradition of the storyteller too, and he is Irish and Cherokee, and that is Soaring Eagle. And one of the gifts that Soaring Eagle has shared with people in the southeast here, from Florida all the way up the coast, is the moon ceremony. And he has with him his apprentice, and we're happy to have Patty Hitt. So welcome to you. It's nice to have you with us, Patty.
Thank you for having me here.
And we're going to do some drumming, and we're going to talk about this moon ceremony because it's a very special and sacred event. And tell us a little bit about it, and then the role that Patty has with it.
Well, the moon ceremony is something that Cherokee people have held pretty traditionally down through the years, but my grandfather taught me how to do it. And it's basically held between the new moon and the full moon. And we gather together and to give thanks to the Creator, or God, same God that everybody else has, believe it or not, for putting the moon up there because it was used as a guide to fish and hunt, plant seeds, and do many different things. And it was a time to cleanse and get rid of your negativity, and instead of just letting it stack up like people do nowadays. So every 28 days we get rid of whatever, you know. So, and the ashes from the fire was gifted to me by my grandfather. Our people used to carry the fire. They had a special woven thing, double weave basket, which is typical of Cherokee, with a cauldron in it. And every time they would move from one place to the other, they'd take the fire and put it in the cauldron and carry it with them. So that's how the fire got to be so old, because it was carried.
I have a couple books that I love, the Cherokees Past and Present, and I think we have a couple shots of these, and also Voices of the Ancestors. And the people who like to do some reading about the 7 clans and about the traditions, a very simple book is the Cherokees Past and Present. And then we also have one that really goes deeply into all these traditions that you're talking about, and that's Voices of Our Ancestors. And you had mentioned these are quite good too. Yes.
The reason I like to see that book because many of the things that I was taught is reflected in this book. And after the fact, really, of my teaching. But it's written by Deanna Yahoo, and in all of the different tribes, they had societies. And Deanna Yahoo is the 27th generation Yahoo society.
Whoa.
So she, evidently her grandmother has allowed her to do this. She got
share.
permission from her grandmother to share and put this in the form of a
Great.
book. So that's an old society.
Yeah. Now, Patty, you are learning the traditions, and you have become an apprentice to Soaring Eagle.
Yep.
Tell me about that, dedicating your life to that.
Well, I kind of got here in a strange way, but it's kind of like I felt like I was led to do this. It made, to me, following the Native American path has made the Creator whole and very active in my life. That when I'm walking down the road and I see a hawk, it's not just a bird anymore that looks pretty. It's maybe the messenger that maybe I need to think about what I was just thinking, or pay attention for a few minutes, and maybe an answer will be there. And it just made everything seem whole and lively, and therefore it was something that I chose to follow and to learn more and to do more with and to work with the people.
Well, I first met you in the class on herbs, and so at that time you were doing some singing and some chanting. Now you brought the drum, and tell me, did you paint the drum, or
Yes, I
who's
did.
the artist? Do you want to show that to us, if we can? Maybe this camera, let's see. Yeah, that's excellent. Okay, so this, and so everything here is symbolic.
Yeah.
And you have been named Running Water is your Indian name, a very powerful name, you said. Soaring Eagle.
That's true.
Yeah. So do you want to play the drum for us a little bit
Sure.
and tell us about the drum and
Well, the drum
energy there?
is a very sacred thing. This is a drum that I made myself. I sweat and cried and pulled and yanked and let dry myself, and it represents the heartbeat of Mother Earth.
Yes.
It represents the heartbeat that we all feel when we're in our mother's wombs.
Yes.
And so right now, with all the things that are going on in the world, I wanted to sing a song about being gentle with ourselves.
Oh,
Because a
okay.
lot of times we forget that.
Okay.
We forget to love ourselves, be gentle, and then we forget that we really are part of the great circle of life.
Oh, well, thank you.
So I'm going to sing a little song here.
Good.
I will be gentle with myself. I will love myself. I am a child of the universe. We are one together. I will be gentle with myself. I will love myself. I am a child of the universe. We are one together. Aye.
Oh,
Thank you. Now, you have been doing the moon ceremony, but because you travel so much, you've given some responsibilities then to Patty when
Right.
you are away. And it is, there's so much ritual to it, there's a lot to learn. Like you said, the ashes came, and so then you always carry the ashes to
Right.
the other and so forth. But there's the corn, and so there's a whole ritual to it, but everything's symbolic.
right. We, when the people come there, see, we have 28 days in the moon, 28 days in the moon, 13 times in 1 year. So we really gather together there so people can get rid of their negativity and so forth. So we do all the saging, full body sages to get rid of the negativity. We hand out cornmeal so they can take that cornmeal, and it's used as a tool or a vehicle to instill all their negativity and all the harsh words and things that's happened to them in the past 28 days. And we take that back up and we take it to the fire and get rid of it in the fire. So it's a physical thing we do with these hurts and so forth and so on, you know.
Yes.
So it's, and then we do the prayers, and we pray to the same God that everybody else, even an organized religion, prays to.
Yes.
Well,
One of the things that they said about the religion and spirituality of the Cherokee, because they do believe Great Spirit, the one God, that it was very easy for them to also incorporate Christianity. And you have a
Right.
legend that you've shared with me before as a storyteller of someone who walked the lands.
Well, you know, when the first missionaries came over here, they started talking to some of our elders, and through drawing pictures in the dirt and sign language and a little of this and a little of that, they managed to communicate. And come to find out, our elders were telling them stories that lined up with stories in the Bible, right down to the 23rd Psalms. But we also feel like that sometime between, whenever we were made and put here, God gave us our instructions to live by, which were equal to the 10 Commandments, basically.
Yes.
And so sometime between the crucifixion and the resurrection of Christ, or Tsaise in the Cherokee language, we found out that he walked the Americas and come around and said, my Father, when he created you, gave you these instructions to live by, and you're drifting away from them, so you got to get back to it.
Yes.
so
actually,
get back with it.
Yeah, there is the legend then that Jesus walked the lands of the Cherokee.
Jesus walked the Americas.
Yeah.
He walked the Americas.
Now you have blended the worlds, and like you said, you are registered, you have your card, and you are a Cherokee, but
Right.
you really have walked in both worlds. But now it really feels right to you to really dedicate all of your time to, you do classes, you go from center to center, and you share the herbs and the healing. And what is the message that you're wanting to share with people most?
I think what I want to share most is awareness and survival. I think those two words pretty well cover everything, because we hear things, and we feel things, and we see things, and we smell things, we taste things in the air that other people don't. And it's not because they can't, it's just because they don't stop to do it. They don't practice it.
Well, like Patty with the hawk, for example, paying
that's true.
attention to nature
That's
and things
true.
around
That's
you.
a good example of the hawk. It's, Patty don't see a bird anymore. It's just a pretty bird. There's a message in that. There's a message in things that happen. There's I know in South America had an earthquake here a while back, the first one that they had. And I had terrible headaches, and I even had a dream about it 2 days before it ever happened. So there's many things like that happens that way that you just, you really can't explain it. And so many people in society today, with science and everything's got to be scientific, and they don't. If you can't see it or feel it or taste it or smell it, it doesn't exist. That's the truth.
Well, it's really fascinating, and I'm so glad we have so many things that you've shared, and people can be in touch with you because you have tapes and you have videos. So as I said, you are the modern man who walks the medicine path. And Patty, it was really wonderful to have you with us.
Thank you.
If you would like to be in touch with Soaring Eagle, stay tuned and we'll let you know how you can. And also, we would love to hear from you. I love it when Soaring Eagle comes. The time just flies by. He has many stories to tell, but his heart is so good, and he has such a wonderful intention to share the wisdom and the light of his people, the Cherokee. And we are so pleased that Patty was with us also, and I am always pleased that you are there. Until next time, may you be well, happy, and peaceful. I'm Georgia Shakti-Hill.